What's happening, guys? Welcome back to DIY Ranch, where everything is DIY. I'm out here on the ranch today in front of our 40 by 70 garden, which you watched me build in a previous video. We're going to be making a fence gate today, a low-cost option, DIY style, beautiful fence gate using some leftover fencing material. I got some fence posts over here. Going to come out really nice. Stay tuned. All right, we got a quick rundown of materials here. I got some 1.5-inch lag bolts. I got some power grab. We got a door bolt, as well as two pretty heavy-duty T-hinges for the gate. Over here we have our treated cedar-stained fence posts, or fence pickets. This is a very low-cost alternative to something more expensive, but this will withstand the elements beautifully, and they're only about $2.50 a piece. A total of 11 here. We got our tool kit as well as some miscellaneous things. First step in this process is to measure your width of your opening and determine how high you want to build the gate. What I'm going to do is I'm going to build it the width as well as the height of the fence material. One-handed. We're going to go from this post to this post, and we have a total, I'd say, about 52.5 inches. So I'm going to go ahead and round down a little bit because you need a little bit of a gap. So I'm going to say 51-inch width is very good. And then from the ground to the top of the fencing material, we're looking at 4 foot even, 48 inches. So we're going to go 51 by 48 inches for our fence gate. I'm going to draw a little diagram so you can understand the plans that we're going with here. I'll do it in a little piece that'll probably get cut off. So what I want to do is I'm going 51 inches by 48. So in order to make this as strong as possible, so let's say this will be our fence. In order to make this as strong as possible, I want to overlap my corners. So this is going to be a sandwich style gate with spare fence material in the middle. And then lastly, we'll add in one cross piece just to give it a nice decorative look. Okay, so the way that I can explain this best is you want one piece long here, and on the other side you want it to be opposite. So when you sandwich this together, the other side will actually be a shorter piece, and these will be the longer pieces. So your top and your bottom will be long on the back side, your sides will be short on the back side, and on the front side you'll have long sides and short top and bottom. And then when we do the cross piece, we'll just sandwich that fencing material in the middle so it doesn't get all willy-nilly. And then what we're going to do is we're going to mount our hinges on both sides here, and then we have a barrel bolt here. So when we install it, it'll swing both ways and we can lock it into the fence post. Alright, so here I've got my cut list. Pretty simple. We're going to do 2 36 inchers, 2 51s, 2 48s, and 2 39s. And what that does is that accommodates for the two different sandwich styles. So we'll have full 51s on the front, we'll have full 48s on the rear, and the difference in between. Alright, so I just cut my first two boards, and they were both 36 inches. So to avoid any confusion, I'm going to write 36 on each, and then I'm going to stack them off to the side until assembly. I've got all my pieces cut. What I want to do is I want to cut my piece of leftover fence here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to measure my dimensions this way, which is 51 inches. It's already good for height, so I want to start at one of these fresh vertical lines. So I'm going to start measuring from there. I'm going to measure 51 inches over and cut. And what's going to happen is with our wood, we're going to sandwich this fence in between the two sides. Tip here when you're cutting and you want to keep your vertical strand on, otherwise it'll just slip off your horizontal, is once you cut it, okay, you want to take this little piece that's left over and just kink it a little bit. This part's going to be hidden behind the sandwich board, so you won't see that, but it will prevent this from slipping off. Do it again here. Alrighty, so now that I've got all the pieces cut, I've got them stacked nicely here by size. I've got my fence cut out. I've got my hardware. I've got everything ready and prepped for assembly to make it go as efficiently as possible. Now, of course, I forgot something. I did not bring a caulk gun with me. What we're going to be doing here is using power grab just for additional strength when I sandwich those boards together. It's pretty much optional, but I want it to be as strong as possible, and for $7, for that little added security, it can't go wrong. But I forgot my caulk gun, so let's see how I can make this work. I think this piece of wood, I'll be able to push it out. So let's see what happens. Alright guys, let me see if I can get this Pro Grab to work with no caulk gun. I got my trusty sticks here. Just going to try to go around the edge. We're giving you huge savings on hundreds of vehicles, and you'll make Alright, so the last step before we mount this is we're going to mark where we're going to cut our cross piece. Now what the cross piece is going to do is transfer this weight down to the base where this is the side that will be mounted to the fence post. So that's just going to provide additional support and keep the bottom from sagging. Now like Stony Ridge Farmer always says, we're not making furniture here, we just need something pretty good. So what I did was I placed this and now I'm just tracing the line out. And we're gonna get it real close, and then I'm gonna flip it over and do the other side for another board. Alrighty folks, so I've got my fence in place and propped up by a couple boards. And what I wanna do is I wanna measure down from the top and I wanna measure up from the bottom the same to make them even and right in the middle. What we're doing is we're installing the hinges here. I want them to be nice and in the middle of these top and bottom pieces. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use these 1.5 inch lag bolts here, not the hardware that came with it, because the hardware that came with it is too long. And I'm going to drive those lag bolts into the fence and then into the fence post, making sure that it's completely straight, both level and plumb. So now I got the hardware mounted to the door here, the gate, and then I've got this slide bolt going right into the fence post. And just like that, the garden now has a gate. Thank you so much for joining me on another episode of DIY Ranch. I hope you really enjoyed our budget gate build. It looks beautiful back there, and it's sure to keep the cows out of the garden. Our corn has sprouted. It is growing. The irrigation is running daily. Stick around next week. We're going to be building a DIY cow back scratcher coming off the little cow hut over there. We've got some itchy cows, and we want to take care of our girls. So stick around, hit subscribe if you haven't yet, like this video if you liked it, of course, and share it with your friends and family. I really appreciate it. Till next time, bye-bye.